Hello and welcome to Storytime Sunday. Today's episode, trilogy, I don't know what you want to call it.
Today's video is going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, it's happening right now.
We're in the midst of it.
Yes, so if you've watched yesterday's vlog, which would be today, you're watching how I got flat tire and had just a ton of car problems.
I broke down.
And I didn't really go into much of it, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. So yesterday I was shooting a wedding, and this was in Provo, and this was actually the first wedding that's asked me to shoot video for their wedding,
as well as photography, both.
So Cody Moffat photography and videography, but I was going to have her do the video, like, you know, she does video every day. She's awesome at it. But the problem is, I didn't want her to have a babysitter all day for the kids, so I was going to have Aubrey come, which she does some videography as well, to do the temple. And that was the plan.
So it's just like the ceremony before the reception later in the day.
Yep. 2-part wedding. Mm-hmm. And so I was kind of rushing, kind of running a little bit late, which I normally do. I'm bad. I know.
Out.
Shouldn't do that.
And I'm like
especially on wedding days, but there's usually a time gap where they start and they say they start, so I usually, there's usually a little window that I know that always happens. I was cutting it close to that gap, and I got about 5-10 minutes away from our house, and my tire gauge started going beep, and I could see my left rear tire, 24, 23, 22, and I was like, shoot. I pulled off the road, run around, and I could hear air hissing out of my tire, and I'm like, not today. Not a good time to have a flat tire.
Running late to a wedding. You guys, you can't be late to a wedding. No. Is the photographer.
Yeah. So I quickly flipped a U-turn, and I was like, I gotta get as close to his house as I can before this tire is like completely flat. So I called Kenzie as I'm driving as fast as I can. Well, not as fast as I can because I got a flat tire.
He was being safe.
Being safe, but like
hopefully
getting there, and I called Kenzie because I knew I didn't have service at this one part in between our house and where I was. So I called her real quick, like, you might need to come get me. If I'm gonna pull over, I'm gonna be at this spot. I got to that spot and it was still at like 12% air pressure, so I'm like, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna try to make it home. Luckily, as I was pulling into our driveway, it hit 0. And I was like, whew.
Well, and I was passing him right as he came into our neighborhood, so I turned around and then followed him.
So I barely made it in time, didn't ruin the tire, hopefully, and switched cars with her car, and... Which
my car's great. We don't have problems with my car, so here, take my car.
Yeah, so left her without a car, but then headed to the temple. Temple went great. Everything was flawless. Beautiful wedding. Shot some drone shots. It was perfect. And then I left the temple to go to their reception.
About 45 minutes away.
45 minutes away, and I was at this intersection right before getting on the freeway. There's 3 lanes, and I was in the middle lane. This is like a busy intersection. Like, there's a college like a block away. Like,
if you guys are in Utah County, the intersection at UVU right there by the freeway, busy.
It's busy.
No matter what time of day, no matter what day, it is packed.
Yeah, and so I was like the 3rd car in line probably. It was right before the light turns green. I hear my car stop idling. Like,
my car.
Her car. That's what I was driving. And I was like, crap, what do I do? Turn the key, not thinking much, just like try to turn it back on, nothing. Tried to turn the windows down to like wave people on. Windows won't work, so like the battery's dead. So I let off the gas, and luckily the hill that I was stopped on was downhill, so I just start slowly coasting forward, like foot by foot, and obviously all the cars behind me are like, what's going on? This car is like going a mile an hour. And so like I kind of just start moving, cut off the car on this side of me, and go probably 100 yards, and luckily there was a shoulder I could get off on right before the freeway, so I pulled off, threw it in park, took the key out. Sitting there, I text Kenzie, like, my car is just died.
Ask my mom what my face did. What? Guys, we don't have problems with my car. and he had just got a flat tire, and so he took the good reliable car, and now the good reliable car just broke down on him.
Yeah. So text her.
Again, can't be late.
She's like, what the heck? I think her exact words were, what? Exclamation point, all caps. Anyways, story continues. I said a little prayer, thinking the battery may be charged a little bit. Vroom, starts right up. And so I'm like, I gotta just go for it. I can't stop and think, like, what if it's gonna die again?
On the freeway.
On the freeway.
45, all the way to Salt Lake City, you guys.
Yep.
So this was kind of sketchy.
Yeah. But I got there, you know. It's like, what's trying to stop me to get to this wedding?
Seriously.
But I got there. It was an amazing wedding.
I was going to go down and do the video for the reception because Aubrey did the temple, but she had work, so she couldn't do the reception. So I was gonna go down, do the reception with him, but I didn't have a working vehicle.
Yep, I took her car.
And
So I was shooting video and photography at this wedding, and
simultaneously.
it was a lot bigger than I had thought. Like, originally I was like, okay, all else fails, I'll just do both. You know, not a huge deal.
Yeah.
There's usually a lot of like downtime.
And we do lots of receptions, and so you have tons of downtime because there's only so many times you can film or take photos of the decorations or interactions or the bride and groom. And so he's like, I can totally do both. It won't be a big deal. And I was like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah. She was more worried than I was.
I was so worried.
Turns out rightfully, because it was a hectic wedding. Like, it was an amazing wedding, don't get me wrong. It was beautiful. Tons and tons of people showed up. It was a Polynesian wedding, so
much
they had big
cultural
families.
things like dances.
Yeah, and so it was just, the second I got there, it was back-to-back events. Like,
he had no downtime.
no time. I didn't have time to eat dinner. Like, it was just back-to-back, busy, trying to hold 2 cameras, doing video and photography. It was a hectic night. But enough about that. Back to the car problems.
He's just that big of a stud that he did both simultaneously, video and photos of a wedding.
Yeah, my back and feet are tired. But, so the wedding went awesome. Leaving the reception, I was like, okay, hopefully the car starts. Starts right up, no problems. Jump on the freeway, go up our canyon to get home, and
Big steep canyon.
the lights go out.
His headlights.
Headlights, it was dark.
10 o'clock at night.
Luckily there was like 5 to 10 cars within like 30 feet of me. So I could make out what's going on. I was more worried that they couldn't see me, but...
Well, and that's the scariest part about where he was in the canyon. Guys, there's not road lights.
Yeah, there's not
big.
headlights.
It's not a big lit freeway. It is a dark canyon road. So
yeah, so I could see what was going on, but like I said, I was worried that other cars wouldn't see me, so I was trying to stay kind of away, but still semi-close so I could see what's going on, and I was just hoping that they would turn back on. I was flipping the switch back and forth. Nothing was going on. I could tell, though, that the like dim lights were on because I could vaguely see like very dim orange lights in front of me. So I knew that there was visibility of me somehow, just not the main headlights. After a few like start you lights, it actually turned on. It worked. You know, the old pound technique. It worked. I don't know if that's what actually made it work, but
they turned on.
They turned on after like probably 30 seconds, which felt more like 5 minutes. It was a crazy day. Get home, she can attest, I just like flopped on the bed.
He had 2 cameras around his neck, 3 camera bags on him. He literally dropped everything at the foot of the bed and fell face first on the bed.
Yeah, I was tired, and a lot of stuff happened. Like, not ideally.
It was emotionally draining.
Emotionally draining, physically draining, and it was just one of those days you're like, wow, like what was going on?
9 million pounds of stress on your shoulders.
Yeah. But wait, that's not all.
It's not the end of it.
This morning, we woke up, I was like, okay, I'm motivated, I'm gonna go change the tire, get it fixed, so I can...
The tire on his car?
Yeah, put the spare on, so tomorrow I can go change it. And this is what I see. This is kind of getting ridiculous. I came out here to change my tire. This tire, there's a nail, yeah. But I look over here, and that's flat too, and I could see a screw right there. Like, what is going on? It's like a staple.
Yeah.
Oh, like, how much bad luck can you have with cars in one 24-hour period?
This is ridiculous.
Yeah. Telling me. Get him up. You helping, Kenny? Yeah, you're a good helper. One down. Done.
So each car now had a flat tire.
Yeah. Lucky us.
Woo.
I don't know what my luck is with cars.
He's
lately.
no longer allowed to touch them or operate them.
Literally, 4 things happened in 24 hours.
Only when he was...
Only my luck.
It's okay.
Oh, man.
But you guys, that's not the worst part, because yeah, car problems suck. They're no fun. They're expensive, they're inconvenient.
Yeah.
But the week we have coming up, we have to go to Salt Lake a lot.
Yeah.
And we need a good car to be able to do that. Our whole family doesn't fit in Cody's car. So even if we get his tire fixed, you know, yeah, his car's good, but my car's not.
Yeah,
And that's the only
we're
car
worried
we all
about
fit on.
the electrical in hers, so.
Something we haven't mentioned yet. Not one time. We haven't mentioned this one time. I'm gonna
Really?
start crying. Goodness.
That'll be fine.
I know. I think why we haven't mentioned it is because none of us have wanted to think about it until we absolutely had to. So I was telling Cody, it all just hit me this morning because I literally haven't been giving it a second thought. But you guys know my sweet brother Matt that just got married a month ago, literally. He's having brain surgery tomorrow morning, and we need to be able to get to Salt Lake and be at the hospital for him. And then Maddie's having her baby this week, a C-section this week. So we've got a lot going on with our family that we need to be to. So it's stressful and it's frustrating because we don't have a good, reliable car to do that now.
Yeah, it's tough. It's like when it rains, it pours, it feels like.
Well, and me and Cody were talking this morning, and first of all, I'm just so impressed with how he handled yesterday, because if that would have been reversed, if that would have been me in his shoes, hi. I would have been like an emotional wreck. I would have had a meltdown, and he is so good at just like, maybe it's not a good thing to always internalize your emotions, but in this case it is.
I think remaining calm is a good word.
Because you would never even know that he was stressed out or that he was frustrated. And so we remained positive until this morning, and then it kind of all just hit me, you know, like the magnitude of what's happening tomorrow morning and not having a reliable vehicle. So we were talking about it, and we said, you know, as bad as it sucks, bad days are necessary so that you can fully appreciate your good days, because we have
so
amazing days. We are so blessed. We're not doing this like, oh, our lives are terrible, because we know our life is amazing.
We're so blessed.
We're so blessed, and we're so grateful for everything we have. But, you know, these days are necessary so that the good ones you can appreciate how good they really are.
Yeah, it's times like these it makes you realize how good you have it.
Yeah.
It's like, as little as like a car problem or 4 car problems, it's really not that much of a problem, you know?
Yeah.
There's
in the grand scheme of things, it's a tiny little sliver in your toe, you know? Like it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But
like, I don't know, we saw the Bingham's house flooded yesterday. Like, that sucks.
And
It's
then
not
of course,
fun.
watching Mindy, because our whole family, I said, guys, hurry, sit on the couch, and we turned it on the TV. And when I saw Mindy's emotion, I started crying with her, and bad days aren't fun. And Bingham's, we are so sorry. We love you guys, and if you need anything, even though we don't have a car, we'll be right there. I promise we'll figure out a way. But our main message we wanted to be in today's video for story time was do your best to remain positive, because bad days don't last forever. You know, you don't have a bad life. You're having a bad day. You're having a bad week. And it's gonna pass. You know, there's light at the end of the tunnel, and there's a rainbow after the rainstorm. So we
wouldn't know happy if we didn't know sad. It comes and it goes, but we have each other and we're happy.
Yeah, and we have all of you guys, and you guys have us. Please never forget that. Like,
Yep.
I know it may seem distant and like we don't really personally know each other, but if any of you feel like you need someone, you have us. You really do. And reach out to us because we're here for you guys.
Yep. So here we are. You're up to date now. What's going on?
This is current, guys.
Yeah.
All the stories we tell you are past, and this is what's happening right this second in
Yep.
our life. But we did want to just ask one quick favor, and that is whatever you believe in, if you could send prayers, thoughts, positive vibes to Matt and our family. I know specifically my mom and Aubrey, they're really worried and nervous, and so just keep him in your prayers. It's all gonna go great, but we love him and we love you guys.
So a little bit of why Matt's having brain surgery. A couple years ago when he was on his mission in Hawaii, he kept having seizures and he blacked out and
Goodness gracious.
yeah.
We love you a little too much, Matt. We can't even freaking talk about you without bawling. His vision was blurred, and he is incredibly tough, you guys. The kid is a 4-time high school state wrestling champion, but he won one of those state titles with a hernia and a torn meniscus, and he didn't mention it until after he had won his title. So the kid can handle pain.
Kid.
Like, he's a tough kid. But he started experiencing these headaches, and then one day he actually passed out and had a seizure. So luckily he had a smart companion who knew to time the seizure and then take him immediately to the hospital. And he actually ended up having 2 seizures. And I guess when you're on your mission, 1 seizure, you can get doctor's help and try to figure it out. 2 seizures, that's an automatic. You gotta go home and figure out your health, you know, because it's just not safe for you to be there.
Fast forward till now, he's been having still the same headaches. The seizures haven't been as much, probably because he hasn't been under as much stress.
Well, and it's the reading.
Yeah.
When you're on a mission, you are constantly 24/7 reading, studying, and that's the focus, that's what triggered it.
Yeah.
So he does have a concussed brain. Like, he has some damage to his frontal lobe, and we know that's from trauma from wrestling and football. But he also has a condition called Chiari malformation. So his brain is tipped backwards, and you have a hole in the base of your skull where your brain stem comes out, and his brain is herniated through that hole. And it was only 8 millimeters herniated when he got home from his mission, and now it's 12. And not only that, but his body is building a mass around his brain at the brainstem to protect it. So the surgeon explained it like pressure in a wine bottle, like the cork is just about to pop. And that is all his pain. So what they're going to do is they're gonna cut out part of his skull to make that opening wider so there's not that pressure, and try to cut down that mass as much as they can just to relieve that pressure, hoping that will help. He may have to have a much scarier, much more invasive surgery in the future.
Yeah. So that's what's going on with Matt.
And Maddie's most likely getting a C-section on Wednesday, so we have a lot going down,
Busy
guys.
week here.
And it's end of the school year.
Yeah. So as tough as these things may sound, like, they're actually like blessings in disguise, you know? Like a new baby, that's amazing, it's beautiful. It's a miracle, you know? Life itself is just amazing. And with Matt's surgery, it's just gonna take those headaches away, and he'll
Relieve
get
his pain.
doing better. So yeah, they're trials, but they're for a reason. You gotta learn and grow.
Yep.
Yep, that's what this life's about. Learning and growing, being better. So
Trying your best, even though it may seem impossible sometimes, to just stay positive. Remind yourself of all the things you do have and not what's going wrong. And that'll help, guys. I promise it helps.
Yep. But we've probably been talking too long.
Sorry.
So we'll see you tomorrow. Check out tomorrow's vlog. I'm sure it'll be an interesting one. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Love you guys. Bye.
Said a little prayer, and it starts. Well, that was a bad noise. That sounded like a Let's do that again.
So here we go.
That's a cliffhanger. I don't want to give that away. The battery charged a little bit. I said that weird. Charged it.